All right, welcome to Drum Associates' latest employee spotlight. Today's spotlight is on Sawyer Block, business partner for Drum Associates. Sawyer, thanks so much for taking the time to sit down with me and talk to me a little bit about yourself and Drum Associates.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me and taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, how long have you been working for Drum?
So I started back in February of 2020, actually. So right before everything kind of went down, but so
Okay,
almost a year now, actually.
awesome. Well, congratulations on your almost 1 year. And it's my understanding that for about a year, you took a step back from the industry to open up and manage your own ice cream shop. Can you elaborate some more on that for me?
Yep. So it was actually a nitrogen ice cream shop that my brother and I had opened up back in Long Island. So yeah, it took a little time away, but that was always kind of the goal and dream of mine was to open up a business and do that with family. So we had the opportunity to do so, got into it, but outside of doing that, it really taught me a lot, both personally and professionally, and things that I am now using today at Drum. So, little things such as attention to detail, time management, uh,
Mhm.
and the leadership to make sure that everything is running accordingly in the shop. But I think the biggest things too is being agile and how you approach certain issues that you come across. There's
Mhm.
always something that a different challenge every day that we're trying to come up with or trying to come up with a solution for, both things that we envisioned that would happen, but the unexpected as well. And that's in everything today is what you don't expect to happen. How do you kind of think on your toes to figure that out? So I think
Right.
those are the biggest things, how to face adversity and come about that.
Awesome. So after all of your experience as an entrepreneur, what made you join Drum?
So it was really my previous relationship with Matt, actually.
Hmm.
We had worked together in a different job, and
Hmm.
when he approached me, it's kind of like a no-brainer. We had both had the same vision of some of the solutions we wanted to come up with, some and creating something innovative and that was outside the box from what we had previous done. So it was a combination of that, but also the industry that we're in, the
Hmm.
longevity of it, the growth that it offers, to have an opportunity to work with Matt and to do something like this, it was an easy decision. So that's kind of why I got back into it.
Awesome. And so, how has your experience in IT and a degree in information management and technology helped you in this role?
Yeah, it's actually been huge.
Hmm.
From just like the overall understanding of some of the issues that our clients are facing, to kind of come and take a step back and truly understand their needs,
Hmm.
goes a long way. So, from a holistic approach, it's, what do they need from a business side of things, but also from a
Hmm.
technical perspective. So, from that, I would say that has really helped, and it also builds your credibility when speaking with them when you have already that existing knowledge. So, I'd say that
Right.
definitely helps a lot.
Right.
Yeah,
So, what have you enjoyed most about partnering with Drum's clients?
yeah. I think it's number one has really been the relationships that we've been able to build.
Hmm.
That was one of the things that Matt and I discussed when first coming in was how are we going to change our what our approach to this, and
Hmm.
I think it's already stood out what we've been able to do
Hmm.
in terms of building those relationships. For from a client perspective, when you have a company that really truly buys into what you're trying to do, it really makes everything a lot easier to one help them take care of their issues, but also collaborate together. We have an
Right.
open dialogue constantly where it's, what do you think about this? And they truly take into account your opinion on the approach. So to have those sort of relationships really goes a long way. So that, and then also the services that we can offer, across the board, whether it was in, diversity and inclusion, training programs, the different
Hmm.
innovative solutions that we've been able to come up with, have really stood out.
Awesome. Thank you. So, what is one mistake you think companies make when picking strategic partners?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's, sometimes they think short term. Why is well, how is it advantage to me short term? But when really you should be looking at it from a long term perspective, coming into finding a strategic partner, that's really one of the biggest things is, look at it as a long term partnership and how they can provide innovative solutions ongoing, not just for the short term. And then also not understanding that there's a lot of hidden costs that a lot of times these firms will put in there. So with us,
Right.
it's very straightforward. Pretty much what you see is what you get in terms of the cost.
Mhm.
So it's, I would say those are probably two of the biggest things that we come across that they don't truly understand from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so after 2020 and this year we've had, which has been tough for anyone, has changed just about everything.
Yep.
What is the trend you believe will appear in 2021?
Yeah, I just kind of had a discussion with one of the VPs at one of our clients, and it was a topic that really kind of stood out to me. And so I thought it was interesting because, now that everything's in a virtual environment, leadership and how you approach your team is going to be
Hmm.
completely different. So what could have been easy to sit down and discuss with them,
Hmm.
now you have to do it virtually. So
Right.
when he's looking for leaders, and that was something we were discussing, is, you know, I need somebody who can now manage a team virtually in a distributed environment and be
Hmm.
able to take care of what they need doing that. It's a lot, I guess, more difficult to do it virtually, maybe over the
Hmm.
phone or something like this. So how are people going to adapt to the virtual environment and be able
Hmm.
to lead? I think that's been a challenge for a lot of people, and they're still trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
So I would say that's probably, one of the biggest things that I've seen, going forward in 2021 is how we manage that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Now, if I'm a client, when should I reach out to you?
Yep, absolutely. I think from us and our perspective, it's everything from when you have a project-based initiative,
Hmm.
um, niche or emerging skill sets that are tough to find on the market, or even in the DE and I space. So, we have training programs that we put through for the niche and emerging skill sets, the project-based initiatives, same thing. And so I think all three of those are really where we can focus, and if they're having an issue with, those are times that they should definitely be reaching out to us.
Right. And why should individuals apply to Drum?
Yeah, I think, from a twofold, from a consultant basis, what we can offer for them in terms of being well taken care of while working through Drum. We have a great benefit package that we do offer. Not many times on a contract or, through an agency do you get that. So we want them to feel comfortable going into it, that they are well taken care of. But also from a relationship standpoint, how many times do employees, full-time contract, have an issue and that they don't necessarily feel comfortable going to a manager or a director with, to constantly maybe feel like they're nagging or something like that. So that's where we come in and we really help them with that. It's another outlet for them to speak to and for
Mhm.
us to kind of speak on their behalf. So any issues that they're having personally, professionally, that we're able to help them with. So from a contracting perspective, that's one, but also we do provide training for them during contracts, which not many people do get. So, and then from a internal employee side of things, I think this is just a great time to be a part of Drum. We're really building something special. From the team that we have put together, that's everything. The core that you have, the foundation that you have moving forward is always important in any organization. But we really have a great set of people, great set of team members here that really are willing to do whatever it takes to kind of get things done, but also really want to make an impact. So from that perspective, and then also just the opportunity for growth,
Mhm.
we, again, coming from a different sector in the industry, sometimes you're siloed into one space. We feel like if you feel you can provide value elsewhere, we want you to tell us, and the better for us and for the company. So,
Mhm.
if there's other avenues of growth that you're looking for, that's great. So we really encourage that.
Awesome. Thank you. And so one of my last questions for you is going to be, what excites you about the future of Drum the most?
Absolutely. I think it's really just the direction that we're going in.
Hmm.
And I just spoke on it, but the culture that we've been able to create is really like the baseline. Um, Everybody here is extremely passionate. It's a great every day. It's exciting to come in. Both when we were in office and now that we've gone virtual, it's great to have an outlet to go to your team members, in a time like this to be able to, whether it's talking personally or, helping each other grow in a professional environment. I think that goes a long ways. And I always say if you have a strong base, building off of that base is going to be much easier. So if you have that core, which we have, it's phenomenal. But it's also building off the relationships that we have already existing, that we've been able to create over the last year, the last 2 years, and to be able to look into the future and know that that's what we're going into into 2021. I think that's really the exciting part, is that sample size of what we've been able to do, and during a pandemic. So, obviously, hopefully things start to settle down, but that would be probably the most exciting part, is we did that during a downtime. What can we do moving forward?
Right. Well, thank you so much again, Sawyer, for sitting down and taking the time with me today to talk some about you and about Drum. I'm just going to have you finish up with just the best way to get in touch with you or anyone at Drum Associates.
Absolutely. I would say go check us out on social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. That would be the best way. Even if you want to get in touch with me personally via email, we can put it in there, but sblock at Drum Associates. I would say those are probably the best ways of getting in touch with us.
Awesome. Thanks again, Sawyer.
Thanks, Taylor.